And the
podcast
begins with a song of rebellion.
How can this
podcast.
be my life?
CD burners.
Whatever, I guess we'll talk about it. But Will is like, he's been one of our my favorite interviews.
You guys interviewed Will?
Yeah.
On your record.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Awesome,
what did people say
dude.
about that? They were
Loved
probably
it.
like,
Everybody's
"This sucks."
stoked. No, everybody has like seemingly like really positive review. Like, I don't know. Like, there's certain things where like a no.
That was like one of our first episodes.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Early on.
It was before we started doing like this type
Co-host.
shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Where it was like have somebody on talking about another album.
Yeah.
Which I think is just way more sick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like way more fun to be like, what is
That's
but
awesome.
then it's just, it ends up being like speculation, you know, because we're just sit here and we're like, yeah, title fight's sick,
Yeah.
you know. Whereas like when we would talk to the producers, they can be like, well, actually on this verse, you can
Yeah.
hear a breath
Yeah.
from Pat before he goes in there. And I
Totally.
listen to it every time.
yeah.
which was a weird thing that happened.
That's so funny.
Look, man, we do this a lot.
I
It's
trust you.
we're pretty dialed in
Yeah.
at this
We
point.
had plenty of time to set up today.
Okay.
So
All right. Yeah. My bad.
no
What
worries.
were we
fucking
doing? I
bad.
went home. I like went home and like
Yeah.
did work. It was actually
I-
like nice.
I was in a session today. I've been doing a lot of writing outside of movements, just like doing stuff with other artists, stuff for like what we call pitch, which is just kind of like writing sessions that you do with other writers and producers and whatever that other artists can be like, you know, you can get pitched to these pop writers or pop artists or, you know, management groups or whoever. And they can be like, oh, my artist might want that song for their project, whatever. And so you basically just like accrue a bunch of like songs for your, I guess, like portfolio as a writer. And then through that, you can do things like publishing deals and that sort of thing. And that's like the next avenue I'm trying to like do for myself, like other than just being a band person for the rest of my life is actually like becoming a writer and doing music more full time when I'm home from touring, just to like continue to challenge myself like creatively and have another outlet.
Love
That is
that.
different than just movements.
Are you doing like different genre? Like what genres are you like mainly?
All sorts of genres.
in?
Yeah, like all sorts of genres. Like I've been doing a lot of pop sessions, but I've also done like some more like electronic kind of like dance stuff. I've done some indie pop stuff. Today was just like a straight up like indie rock sort of vibe. Like kind of what would I compare it to? Like, this is gonna sound bad given
Nothing
recent events. This is gonna sound bad, but it was like David-esque.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
minus the
bro,
murder.
I've legitimately never heard of this
I
guy.
didn't hear his music until the murders happened,
Yeah.
and then people were like posting the
That's
clips.
most people.
Like what?
But I was like listening to it, I was like, this is kind of
Okay,
good.
what's crazy though is that he's like low key huge.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Massive.
It's crazy.
It's like this insanely like specific sliver of demographic that misses me 100%. Like I like really shitty stuff for like young, like, you know, this like clipped rap shit that sucks ass. And then older stuff. And like this is David was like, who is this?
Yeah, kind of like random. I don't know where he came from or how he got so big. Maybe TikTok, I guess. But he kind of came onto my radar probably this time last year. And I was like, man, this stuff's really cool. Like he's an artist I'd probably like be interested in working with. Not anymore, but
He was like working with like Benny Blanco and stuff too.
Yeah, he's fucking huge.
Massive.
He's like actually massive. But,
Literally, it's so wild. Completely missed me. Nobody has ever.
Yeah.
When you're doing like electronic stuff, are you doing like top line or are you like, what are you?
So that's like kind of my bread and butter, right? Is like, that's essentially what I do in movements is all top line. I'm not really an instrumentalist. I can play instruments. I don't really. I know how to play guitar. I know how to play drums. Like I can get by doing kind of whatever and making a simple chord progression, but I don't like shred and I don't really know how to like make a full song by myself instrumentally. So my main job is to take an instrumental and turn it into a song by putting lyrics and melodies and stuff over it. So yeah, my job when I'm doing these sessions is really to just kind of allow whoever I'm working with, the producers and the other writers in the room, to kind of take, their ideas as far as like making the instrumentals, and I can kind of put my input into those, but then also like basically be the one to be like, all right, cool. Here's my idea for this melody. Here's what I'm thinking, like lyrically, theme wise, and all that sort of stuff. And just kind of go from there.
Dude, welcome to our fucking podcast where everybody's gonna be mad at us.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for
guys. If you didn't read the title, we have Patrick from Movements today, and welcome to CD Burners. Thank you so much for doing this,
dude. Thank you guys so much for asking me to do it. I'm super excited to be here.
You picked a great album. Today we're going to be discussing Floral Green by Title Fight.
One of my all-time favorite records by my all-time favorite band.
When did you first hear Floral Green? And what was your first reaction?
I was in high school. Well, actually, let's see. When did Floral Green come out? I think Floral Green came out. Yeah, I would have still been in high school.
September 18th, 2012.
Yes. Yeah. So I was still in high school. I found Title Fight. I was probably a junior in high school when the record before Floral Green came out, Shed. And Shed changed my life. That was like early into my discovery into like kind of the realm of music that Movements sort of sits in, and the realm of music that we kind of grew up in and that we were heavily influenced by, bands like, Title Fight, Citizen, Balance and Composure, etc., that had really shaped our core identity as like individuals, and then also brought us together in one, what basically was the style of music that we wanted to make. And so when I first heard Shed, I was like, holy fuck, I didn't know that music like this existed. Like, I knew heavy music existed. I knew like pop punk existed, but Title Fight kind of existed in this realm that was sort of an in-between, right? Because they were in very much, in many cases, they were a hardcore band, playing shows with actual hardcore bands, like, you could say hardcore adjacent. I don't know that I love that term, but
there's a lot of stuff we're going to say that I don't love.
Yeah. But I mean, that is just like typically like what people would, say about Title Fight, hardcore adjacent, whatever. But in many cases, Title Fight was a hardcore band, but they were doing hardcore in a way that I had never heard before. And I thought it was like unbelievable. And so that just like sparked my love for like that world of stuff. And then, when Floral Green came out, I mean, they were already very much on my radar, but Floral Green kind of shifted a lot in the scene as far as like what it meant to be, I think, that kind of band, because it brought so many new elements of like sonic exploration, I feel, into what it meant to be like that kind of a band again. Like, it was just mind blowing to me. Sonically, it was unlike anything I'd ever heard, and such a blend of cool fucking shit that I was like, dude, this is crazy. And I feel like from that point onward, I was like, it's game over.
It's when you say like that kind of band, I know what you're talking about. It's like a really difficult way to carve out. Like, cause that's same. Like when I heard Title Fight, I was like, sounds like music for adults.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like music that I like, but for adults.
Yeah.
In a weird way. And so like, I've always had a really difficult time explaining what type of music that is.
Totally.
Where I'm just like, I think it's rock.
Right. At the end of the day, they're a rock band. You know what I mean? And that's why like it is, they're one of those bands that's really hard to quantify. They're really hard to put into one, I guess like pocket, right? Like, I don't want to call them a pop punk band because they're not a pop punk band, but they sort of fit in with what pop punk bands were doing at the time. It wouldn't be entirely uncommon to see The Story So Far and Title Fight play a show together. In fact, The Story So Far and Title Fight fans were very much the same people. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Title Fight fans and Terror fans were very much the same people, because Title Fight was also a hardcore band. Rise Against, very much a rock band. Title Fight toured with Rise Against. Rise Against fans are Title Fight fans. Like it's crazy because they are simultaneously all of these things, and then at the same time completely their own thing. And then you throw in the elements of like the shoegaze stuff, and you get all of like the, you know, the head in the ceiling fan-esque, like super vibey kind of like bands like Were, you know, and Nothing, the bands that are like really noisy and you know, people are going to be mad that I said shoegaze because that's not technically shoegaze, but fucking like, you know what I mean?
It's,
like,
dude, it's literally like, that's another one of the things where I'm like, I don't know if I like that term.
Totally.
Like, I'm like, I just don't think
like,
I
it is what
But
it
it's like,
is.
but it's like, how
like,
else do you describe it? You know what I
know.
mean? And so, yeah, to me, like that, the fact that they could be everything and do it so flawlessly was like, I don't know. It was perfect.
Dude, I think it's like also why, like, nobody got mad at them. Like,
Yeah.
everybody, they were a really easy band for people to be like, I really, regardless of if you knew that they were like also kind of hardcore. If you just heard like Floral Green for the first time, you didn't know that's where they came from. It was really easy to be like, I like this.
Yeah.
And if you were the opposite, it was also just really easy to be like, I like this. And I've never known why that is, like why so universally.
I don't know why, maybe you know them personally. I've never met any of these guys, but they seem like really genuine dudes.
Extremely genuine. I've met all of them. I'm very lucky enough to be able to call Ben, their drummer, a good friend of mine now, because he plays drums in the band Citizen, and we just took them on tour last year, and we've had the opportunity to tour with them a bunch in the past, and they are all absolutely wonderful people, and Ben is just like the sweetest person ever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that alone speaks to the character of the rest of the band, that, you know, if he's the nicest person in the world, then I can only imagine that the rest of them are also the nicest people in the world. And I think the first time that we ever met them, we were in the studio in Conshohocken, where we record with Will, which is where they recorded Shed, where they recorded Floral Green, where they recorded Hyperview. And we were there doing our first EP. And I think Will was like, yo, like the Title Fight dudes are stopping by later. They got to like drop off some gear or whatever. And I was like, oh fuck, that's like crazy. I have to play it really cool. like I have to really play it cool.
Yeah.
I was like fucking 18 years old at the time, you know? I just remember them like coming down and like saying what's up. And they were all like so like immediately like cool with us, like genuinely asking us like about our band and like what we were doing, if we were having a good time, like what the sound was like, whatever. We all ended up going upstairs, like the 6 of us or 7 of us or whatever, how many it was. And we all got like lunch together at like a pub that was upstairs above the studio. And it was just like a really cool experience. And I was like, damn, like these dudes are so fucking chill and like normal, you know? And it's one of those situations where you kind of, and I think this happens a lot, especially in our world, where like you kind of have people on a pedestal and then you immediately realize like, oh, they're just a guy. They're just guys. Yeah. And they're people just like us. And like, we are all here because we're doing the same shit and we all love the same shit. We're all very similar.
Yeah. That's funny. I think Will actually brought that up in his interview about your album. He was like, I just remember like those guys were so young, and I think he brought up Title Fight and like a few of the other bands that he was working with, and then Seeing you guys interact with them. And he was like, they are in it now. They're part of it. Yeah. And it was cool to watch because they were like 18 and so excited. Yeah. And I felt really like proud of them. So,
totally. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy, dude. Like because there was such a pocket, right, of all of these bands. And, you know, I mentioned a few earlier, like Citizen, like Balance and Composure, but truly like there was this scene and it all kind of was really popping at the same time. And there was this era, right, from like 2010 to like 2014 where like this era or this wave of this era was like fucking insane, because you had Title Fight putting out Shed and Floral Green within, you know, the 2 years of each other. You had Balance and Composure, Citizen, fucking Pianos Become the Teeth, Law Dispute. There was so much happening in that world at the time where all of this was like this sphere that at the time we were kind of on the outside of, that we were just like, damn, that's what we want to be a part of. Yeah. Like that is the fucking shit. Like being in this world. And it almost felt unobtainable until you get there and you realize that sphere is not exclusive at all. and that sphere is like extremely welcoming, and all you have to do is involve yourself in the sphere and you are part of the sphere, right? If you are like giving your energy to it and you are like putting something into it, then you're there, you know? And once we started doing that, I was like, fuck, like,
Yeah.
we're here. And it's just like Will said, you know?
It is super intimidating. For some reason, like that was I've always loved all of it. And it was always like, maybe it's because I'm fucking so small, but I was just like, it was an intimidating like scene to look at, even though like I'm such a big fan, like a big fan of all of that stuff. But I was like, I don't know, I never fully dove in to it as easy as I was able to with other genres.
Yeah.
Probably because I couldn't like
Mosh.
get my ass kicked. You know?
I know that like speaking on what you're talking about, like they really valued that, like their friends and working with their friends. Like I was reading an interview with one of them and they were like, we'd much rather like take our friends around the world on tour and like give them a chance to have the jobs than, you know, work with like strangers. And I know his like girlfriend, I think did the music video, something like that. I don't know. It was like all in the same sphere as you're talking about. It's like once you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's like very much a big part of, I think the hardcore scene in general, but like, yeah, our world of music is that it's collaborative, you know, and like when you find your people and like the folks around you who are doing cool things, you want to like lift them up and you want to be around them. And I think that we have a really similar mindset, you know, like we want to tour with our friends. We want to give our like jobs to our friends because we fuck with them, you know? And ultimately, like I only ever want to bring bands on tour with that I genuinely like love and that like whose music I care about and whose music I want to showcase, right? Like if our label or our management or whoever came to us and was like, hey, you know, like there's this band and, you know, we really think you should take them out because it'll be like a good look or whatever. Or like, oh, like they're, you know, they'll fucking, this has never happened, but hypothetical, like they'll pay you money to be on this tour or some shit. We wouldn't do it. You know, like that's one, that's corny.
Yeah.
Two, that's just like not what we're about. Like, why would I give an opportunity to somebody if I don't actually care about their music? Like if they come to me and I'm like, no, I hate this. I don't want to, like, I don't want to.
You're also going to listen to it every night. You know, it's like
yeah,
I don't want that. I want to be on tour with things that like bands that I like and music that I want other people to see. And if we can give an opportunity to a tiny ass band, but they're our friends and they make good music, then we're going to do that. You know what I mean? Even if they're worth 0 tickets, I don't give a fuck. Like, I want that.
I was having a conversation with Chris from Dashboard, and he was like,
okay, casual.
He was like, I don't know if there's another music scene out there like that has the same value of like, okay, if you made it, you look back and you like reach back and you take somebody up with you. You know, it's like that's so in the DNA. And I was kind of like, you know, I think that there is some of that in the rave community, which we've been diving into a lot over the last couple of years, because it actually took us like a while to wrap our heads around it, but like you play other people's edits and mixes in your sets.
Yeah. Isn't that the weirdest shit?
It's crazy. I'm like, wait, but he's playing he played like 2 hours ago. Why are you playing his song right now?
There's a really funny like online thing happening right now where a producer was like, you're not like no DJs that don't produce should be DJing. And then there's like a real, like really funny discourse.
Yeah.
And they've taken it and like done it. And which we've been, you know, dude, I feel really similar. I've like dove super, super, super heavy into that world and become friends with all those people. And like, they have accepted me. I'm like, I didn't know shit about this.
Yeah, dude, the EDM world is awesome. I've also recently become friends with like a handful of DJs and stuff. And that was something that was hard to wrap my brain around, was the fact that like you just play other people's songs.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, dude, like here's my edit that I've spent like a week on.
Yeah.
Can you play it? Or like, if you want it, it's yours." You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's really communal, and then like people are stoked about that.
Yeah.
Like I think that's kind of the rave version of that.
Honestly, it's really cool, and I do fuck with that. I think that's a really cool thing. I don't think it would ever work in our world other than maybe like covering each other's songs, which happens extremely rarely, but
it's interesting because we're actually preparing to do another episode on the 1975 with Mod Sun in a couple weeks.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But we're recording it on Friday. But there, I was like deep diving into some Matty Healy shit, and he was like doing kind of what we're talking about, which he was like, I was trying to do a Greenwich Village thing where you just kind of play songs that are around. Yeah. And I guess that's like kind of a thing that was happening. Like songwriters would be working on stuff and play it for somebody else. And then people would play that at a coffee shop and like make up a new bridge. And he was like, I did that with this one song that my friend was working on that's still unreleased. And then I improv'd a bridge while I was opening for Phoebe Bridgers at the Greek. And then that became one of the guys, like the actual song that we put out as the 1975. I was like, that's very like EDM, you know,
that's
kind of
crazy.
Taking somebody's edit and like splicing it with something different.
Dude, with that being said, like there are some wild parallels that I've seen with this album in particular and some really, really notorious electronic albums.
Okay.
Like a lot of the like fan stuff was like, I would put Floral Green on and just walk around at night at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And like, that was the thing. It was like their comfort. That's what they did to this album. That's what it kind of does feel like that.
Yeah.
Like I do understand that.
Absolutely.
And there's another artist that came out or is an artist and named Burial and put out this album, and everybody in like London is just like, I put that album on and walk around London at 2 a.m. And they are, if you listen to those albums together, like very, like could be on this, like in some weird world on the same album.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to it. Send it to me.
It's so sick, dude.
Yeah. Please send it to me. I'd be really interested to hear that.
It was also like they took like, Title Fight in general, like did this thing where, you know, at least I hadn't seen or was unaware of. It was like they sounded like their sound didn't, their aesthetic of what they look like and like what it looked like and what it was outwardly presenting was different than what I thought if I just heard it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, the cover of it should be this.
Yeah.
Or that. And it just wasn't. It felt like art. Like it felt like art piece.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really, I don't know. They just did it in like a way that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to explain.
I think that was like a huge part of the allure for Title Fight for me was the fact that it like, they weren't trying to be anything that they weren't, you know, it was so real. It was so authentic. It was so raw, everything, even down to their live performance. Right. It was no frills, no smoke, no mirrors. Like they played their fucking show. And that was it. And going and seeing Title Fight. I mean, I saw Title Fight the first time my senior year of high school. And I still remember it was in Eagle Rock at like the Eagle Rock Performing Arts Center or some shit, just some big like community room in Eagle Rock and whatever. And it was when they were touring on Floral Green, and incredible lineup. Probably to this day, still like one of my favorite lineups of all time. It was a band called Single Mothers opened, crazy punk band from Canada, and then and then Pianos Become the Teeth. And then Title Fight. And it was just unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable lineup. But I remember like from the second that Title Fight started, I've still to this day never felt an energy in any room, any concert ever like I felt in that room. The entire fucking place was just electric and like with little to no effort. I mean, obviously they're giving it their all right on stage. Like they're performing their fucking hearts out, but there's no crazy lights. There's no, like over the top production. It's just them with instruments on a stage and some spotlights, and that's it. And that's all it fucking took for them to take an entire crowd of like fucking 1,500 kids to go on like that, to go fucking crazy. And it was unbelievable, man. And that's like, you know, something that was so special, is that like you could just have this band that was so authentically themselves do themselves so well that it just stuck with people, and is still sticking with people to this day, you know?
It is wild that you say that, because I like texted Shane, and I was like, dude, Shane from Title Fight. And I was like, hey, we're doing this album. I'm lucky enough to know him through doing some art stuff
Sick.
With him.
Yeah, he's so talented.
And just become friends with him and, you know, talk to him once in a while, and usually about that. But I was like, hey, we're doing this album, and do you have anything that you would want to say? And in that like same vein is like super, super minimal. Like you could say so much stuff about this album.
Yeah.
So much stuff. And
what did he say?
He was like, you know, just like, there's,
I can see it. He said
like,
a lot of stuff.
Like, I remember that after recording Shed and producing, Will's assistant producing before Floral Green, we were being courted by some bigger names of producers for the follow-up. And I remember someone we won't name, for a minute, we would also take meetings with the guys, but we saw through the bullshit, didn't feel any connection, and ultimately led us to being like, Will let us sleep on the floor in his studio.
Yeah.
And his heart is 1,000% bigger than any of these other guys.
Yep.
So it's like, there's so much stuff to be said about Floral Green. And like, that's like what you remember and like are saying is it speaks
volumes.
Like it speaks volume, like more than anything else he could have said, kind of, with the type of person and people that they are.
Right. It goes back to like bringing your friends with you, like always. And I fuck with Shane so heavy for that. That's so like that's so on par with what I would expect from any of the guys in Title Fight to say. But that's, you know, that's so real. And that's exactly the kind of mentality that I think has really influenced movements as well. You know, Title Fight always stuck with Will. Movements has always stuck with Will. He is genuinely, Will is my favorite producer. Will has produced some of my favorite records of all time. The fact that we get to work with him, that we get to do music with him, that he's a part of our team, and in many cases he's the fifth member of our band, and that he has been there with us from the very beginning, that he saw the potential of our band from the jump, like, is crazy, you know, because we went from completely idolizing him, and I still do idolize him in some ways, you know, regardless of if he's my brother or not.
It's
like,
all good to do that.
He's still like he's still my idol, you know? But the fact that we went from like, you know, him being our idol to him being just a member of our team, it's like the craziest feeling in the world. And I don't think that we would ever trade that, you know, even if Movements for whatever fucking reason became the biggest band on earth, which won't happen
after this podcast. But you guys are gonna
even if, right, like some fucking massive producer was like, hey, fucking, you know, I won't even charge you anything, come do a record with me, we'd still be like, okay, but we're bringing Will, you know, like he's still gonna be there.
I think he has that effect on like every single band, and also everybody. Like he is, I mean,
he's a really nice guy.
It's the best. Dude, it's just the product is like, he is wild. Like it is, he did something, you know, like I think with that style, whatever that is, like whatever we want to call this, is like, sounds like Will.
Totally.
And that's few and far between in the world of like,
so
music.
Yeah. When you listen to Floral Green, and now that you have this relationship with Will, do you hear little things in Floral Green that you're like, I know that Will did that?
100%.
You're like, oh, that's that fucking amp over there.
100%. After working with Will for so long, I can listen back to like any Will record and be like, okay, yeah, I know what he's doing. I hear like, I think every producer has their tendencies and amps that they like to use or effects they like to use and, you know, pedals and that sort of stuff. You hear it a lot on the Circa records that he's worked on, definitely on the Title Fight records, especially on Hyperview when they were experimenting a lot more with like kind of weirder sounds and a little bit more, I don't know how I would describe it, but just like, just more experimental
It's like
stuff.
more atmospheric.
Atmospheric is a great way to put it. Yeah. I can hear a lot of that in a lot of what we do now. You know, we'll be in the studio and I'll be like, even things like feedback. I'll be like, oh, that feedback is the exact feedback from fucking that song. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
From what I read about the recording process of this record, it sounded like they did a song a day. They didn't track it live. They were really meticulous. They turned every knob from what I heard. How does that compare to like your experience working with Will and making your records?
The fact that they recorded it like one track every single day is pretty impressive, especially with how good it sounds and how polished it all seems to be. We're really slow. We do shit slow, dude. You know, we sometimes still are like, you know, we're pushing it to the very end of our deadlines, and, you know, maybe we've had like a month to 2 months to do a record, and, you know, we're still like, fuck, like got to finish these 10 songs. You know what I mean? So that's pretty impressive. And I honestly, I didn't know that about them, but I will say that it does make sense for a band like Title Fight because Shed was recorded all live. And there's like a whole like VHS documentary they did about it, and it's fucking so sick. I used to like watch it on repeat in high school.
Did you have the actual tape?
I don't have the tape. No, I watched a pirated version that I downloaded.
Yeah, I think it's on YouTube.
Yeah. But the Shed VHS is so fucking sick and shows you like their process of playing as a band, recording an entire record as a band in one take, you know, playing each instrument live. It's so fucking cool. It's such an insane way to make a record. I don't think people realize how tight you have to be, how like in sync with one another you have to be to do a record that way. And the fact that if you make one mistake, even at the very last 4 seconds of the song, you have to start the whole song over. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. So it doesn't surprise me that they were able to do it so quickly because they're just that band, you know, they're able to just fucking get that shit done. And they've always been that tight. And yeah, it's fucking sick.
I like never, you know how like I'm just like, nobody ever dislikes them and nobody like has anything bad to say about them. Like,
I've met like 2 or 3 people ever who've had negative things to say about them.
Out of all the people you've met, pretty good percentage.
Pretty fucking good.
And like when I remember first hearing them, and I was like, his voice is like so good, bad. It was like one of those.
So good, bad. Yeah.
It was like one of those things where I was like, it's so good, bad, but like kind of like when I heard Piebald.
Yeah.
Like for the first time, I was like,
that.
But Piebald is kind of like bad.
Yeah.
But in like a way that I love.
Yeah, I get that.
His voice is like so.
Well, there's 2 guys. There's 2 singers, Ned and Jamie.
Yeah.
And Ned's like, you know,
Ned's got like the way harsher, screamier kind of vocal, like shoutier vocal. Jamie's got a little bit more of like I want to say prettier vocal, but yeah.
Is there anything about like the way that the vocal dynamic or the presence is on this record that has influenced your style?
I would say that like their vocals in general, like Title Fight's vocals in general, like certainly influenced my singing style in all aspects of like what Movements has done. Just because like them doing Ned specifically doing like the more like screamy but with a melody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like shouting, but having an actual like melodic element to it is something that I implemented really early on in Movements and still do like to this day. And like, honestly, like kind of taught me how to sing in a band like this, you know, it's because I was just trying to copy them. I'm really glazing them right now, but
it's like an okay. I think it's like an absolutely like okay thing to do.
Yeah.
They're so sick. It's like this one of my favorite. This is like wild one to do because it's like it is one of my favorite.
They're like quite literally my favorite band of all time ever.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard to like do this.
I cannot even like begin to like explain that. They're my favorite band ever, and I will admit that yes, we copy them. Like, I can't.
It's in, they copied like Jawbreaker and Knapsack and
Right.
Sonic Youth.
Right.
That's just what happens with art.
Totally.
You take
also
your
like,
influences.
Yeah, it's like you are influenced. It's like
Absolutely.
an influenced by. You
Yeah.
know, it's like we all try to be like, damn, I like that. I'm going to start doing art because of that. I have to start from somewhere.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that you take that thing and then make it your own. And now I'm sure there's hundreds of bands that are out there being like, I'm just going to copy Pat and then like make that their own thing, which is sick. It's like, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said about mimicry is the
Imitation is the biggest form of flattery.
Biggest form of flattery. Sure. Yeah. I think that can certainly be true. And I think that, that actually, it leads me to an interesting point, which is something I wanted to talk about, which is the fact that like, I think that after Floral Green came out and before Turnover put out Peripheral Vision, every band wanted to sound like Title Fight Floral Green. Every local band, every band in the scene was trying to do the Title Fight thing. And it was just like every new band that was popping up was like, oh, what do they sound like? Oh yeah, they sound like Title Fight. Cool. All right. Got it. And it was like, I feel like it was constant until Turnover put out Peripheral Vision. And then it was like the whole scene flipped. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, every band's trying to be Turnover Peripheral Vision now. Like it was, and it's crazy because there have been cultural like moments throughout like time with our scene where a band puts out a record that is so iconic and so meaningful and so impactful that it influences the entirety of the scene. Right now, I think it's Turnstile.
Well, Turnstile doesn't exist without this record.
Exactly.
I don't think, Yeah. I think it's a very clear line. This came out in 2000 and what did we say? 2012.
2012, yeah.
Yeah. Here we are 13 years later with Turnstile. And I think you can draw a direct line.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You can like put pinpoints in like these exact moments.
Totally.
And then, dude, for every, like, there will, I think, to be fair, I think you guys did a good job.
Thank you.
Of like doing something different where people were like, I'm going to do that. Now, it was like it's a really interesting way. And I really agree with you with Turnover.
Yeah.
Just like, goddamn, I can't listen to that album on a plane.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, I'm just like, oh, it's not going to happen.
I get it.
Same thing with Tiger's Jaw, any Tiger's Jaw song.
I get it, dude. Yeah.
Can't listen to it on a plane.
And again, that's all going back to like that sphere of bands, you know, Turnover, Tiger's Jaw. Those were also bands that were very much in that realm. Like
shit's happening over there,
dude. There's something in the water in PA, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro?
Up shit. It's like everything that is awesome has come from there.
It's actually insane. It's actually insane.
Yeah. Like when you're out there, have you picked up on anything where you're like,
they got great pizza.
but you're like sides like,
dude, honestly, you know what I think it is? It's, and I might get some shit for this, so don't come at me if you're from these places. It's because those places kind of suck.
Yeah. No, dude.
If I was from those places, I'd be pretty fucking miserable too, and I'd probably want to make some art about it because what other outlet do you have?
Yeah, it's just like cold and
dreary.
Drink and that's like it.
Yeah,
drink
bro.
and go to your blue collar job, or you can make art.
Like those, you know what I mean? Like I would probably fucking. So listen, they're great places because they have bred some fucking phenomenal art, some phenomenal talent, but like, damn.
Well, I think if you grow up and you're like, me, and I'm like, well, I can't do steel.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
And I think that, there is an entire group of people that like, can't do that.
Yeah.
and they need an outlet.
Yeah.
And they have to like find a thing. And so, yeah, it's just like this epicenter of like, I was like me in Tucson. I was like, fuck am I going to do?
And look, it's like fucking, it's no shade. You know, there are plenty of places in the fucking country that suck. There are places in California that fucking suck that I wouldn't want to fucking spend time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it's just one of those things. But man, I mean,
Dude,
talk about an area
been to
that,
Riverside?
bro, I'm good.
Have you been to Riverside?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, favorite tracks, standout tracks on this album. For me, it's I just love Head in the Ceiling Fan. Like, fucking
Oh my God,
great
Let's
record.
go.
I mean, yeah, Head in the Ceiling Fan, I think, was sort of that's a song that is sort of stood the test of time. Right?
Blew the
You know,
scene wide open.
blew it wide the fuck open. To this day, I mean, you have, I don't know if Billie Eilish posted that one. She definitely posted Safe in Your Skin, but you know, that's like one of those songs that is still like really, really relevant. It's still having like a moment like on TikTok and whatever. And this is a song that came out fucking 13 years ago now. Potentially more popular than it's ever been right now because of TikTok. Same with Safe in Your Skin from Shed, whatever. But like, yeah, iconic song. Definitely the standout track, I think, from that record, or at least like the most popular from that record.
It was the first single too that
Yes.
they put out. I think they put it out before they released the album.
Yeah.
Which was a really bold choice coming off of the popularity of Shed, and then they're just like,
yeah, here's
guess
like
what?
this
Here's a
really
shoegaze
slow
song.
shoegaze song. Yeah, exactly. Crazy. It's not my personal favorite on the record. Obviously, I don't think there's a single bad song. There's not a song I don't like, but it's not my personal favorite song. I think my favorite song on the record is Frown. I love the way that it starts with the... Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. That, oh
fill.
my God, dude, that drum intro is so fucking cool. I don't know. It's just so sick. They also used to play that song at Vans, and I worked at Vans for a very long time.
Dude, when you saw him at that one show, what'd they open with?
They opened with Numb, But I Still Feel It, which was crazy. It was crazy. What an album opener.
when you were
What an
at that
album
show,
opener.
were you already making music?
No, I
So
was,
would
I
you
was
say
very
that's
much
like
in high school.
a catalyst for you? Like, I know that I can look
Yeah.
back on like the show that I was at where I was like, I can't do anything else. I gotta be around this all the
Yeah,
time.
no, that was certainly a moment for me where it was already starting to sink in. I guess I can't say that I wasn't making music at all, because at the time I had made music previously in like a really, really shitty garage, like easy core band with our bass player now, Austin.
Sick.
He and I had like a little easy core band that we played in, but it was nothing like serious at all. It was just like we were fucking around.
Yeah.
But
What was it called?
I will never
Okay.
ever
All
publicly
right.
say
All
it,
right.
because
I know, dude.
there you can find the music somewhere, and I don't know how to remove it.
I think I heard you talk about this on Shane's podcast.
So it will never ever be mentioned.
Yeah. Look, same boat, bro.
But yeah, we put out like 2 or 3 songs, and yeah, they were horrible. I actually wasn't singing though. Austin sang on it, and
Oh, you're off the hook then, dude.
well, I sang a little bit.
Okay.
I wrote a lot of the
You're
lyrics.
like mainly off the hook.
I wrote a lot of the lyrics, and the lyrics are bad.
Yeah,
really
but you're
bad.
not singing them. You're kind of off the hook.
But yeah, so you know, I had made music at the time, but I wasn't making music seriously by any means. And I think that band stopped after Austin had graduated, and he was 2 years older than me. So when I saw Title Fight, I was a senior. I hadn't made music in a while, but I really, really wanted to be in a band, and was just like, man, like that was one of those situations where I was like, fuck, I need to do this. Like I need this. I just had such a hunger for it. And it was 2 nights in a row that I got it too, because they played that Eagle Rock show, and then they announced the next day a secret show. It was like they announced it day of, and it was at Chain, and they just did tickets at the door. No pre-sale. You had to line up, whatever. And so we all fucking went, and we lined up super early and fucking got to see that same show twice in a row. And it was incredible. And I was like, man, like, there's nothing else that I want to be doing in life other than this. But I had no idea how, you know, at the time I was like, well, it's just not really very realistic. And so I ended up going to college and doing the whole fucking 9 yards for a year until I realized like, man, college really sucks. I just want to play music. And so I quit and moved home and started Movements, and here we are.
Let that be a lesson to everybody.
Yeah,
right? Like the things that seem incredibly unobtainable.
Yeah.
I mean, you went to those shows and you're like, not possible.
Yeah.
You gotta go to college.
Bro, I hate that shit. People saying that's unrealistic. Fuck that. That's one of my least favorite things.
Yeah, I still feel that way.
Yeah.
And we're like, we have like a Vegas residency.
Dude.
I'm like, that's
sick. I didn't know you guys had a Vegas residency.
I still feel like we're just like kidding.
That's so sick.
Like, I just feel like it's just like, I'm like, damn, dude, we're really bad. And I'm watching like other people who have the same like thing. And I'm like, they're so good. And I'm like, but we're like in this same like thing.
Yeah.
I just think that doesn't go away.
Yeah, I get you.
Maybe.
I get you.
No matter how. I wonder if Taylor Swift feels that way.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, probably not. She's probably like, I'm the fucking best thing that's ever walked the face of the earth. What? I'm not going to comment on this because
I am.
You're gonna
It's
get roasted.
fine.
I'm going to
I
get
don't care. I don't
destroyed if I say anything about this.
Don't say anything.
As far as anyone is concerned, I have no problems with
I
Taylor
think she has
Swift.
some really great songs. I just think she's very selfish.
All right.
Like, I feel like she might be a selfish person.
Probably, but whatever,
And I
dude.
don't-
That's not for me to comment on.
She's also like the cringiest millennial ever.
Let's
But
go.
anyway.
Dude. Keep going, dude. Let it rip.
Okay, so did either of you guys ever have the physical CD? Because I didn't.
Of Floral Green?
Yeah.
I did have I had the
I
CD.
did. It was bigger.
Yes. So I saw this in a YouTube video that it was like longer than other CDs.
Wait, what do you mean longer?
There were some, I think,
The dimensions of the packaging were just not
the
like
packaging.
a square. It was like a rectangle.
Yeah, it was a rectangle.
Damn, dude, I didn't even think about that until just now.
So it like would sit weird on the shelf.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever put it on my shelf. I didn't really have any
Or
other
like at a record
it was,
store, you know, it would stick out strange.
Yeah. I bought it at a merch. I bought it at their table.
I thought mine
and
was
then I
just
just left it in my
fucked up.
car.
Yeah.
I thought mine was just like fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, it was on purpose, which I think
Wait, what was the purpose?
just
Did they say?
to have it like stand out and be weird and like make
okay.
you think. And like that's the kind of stuff that I think Title Fight fans like really appreciate about the band is like their attention to detail with everything, like artwork, but also the packaging. Like how do you even fucking make that?
Yeah.
Like you have who makes that for you?
Totally.
They should make it.
You don't go on like disc, I don't know, CD Baby and be like, I want to fucking print CDs, but we want it to be weird.
Right.
Patrick,
5
you
inches.
should make a CD, but it's just like fatter.
It's
just like
it just doesn't
wide.
fit in the.
No, it's just like fatter, not like longer or like more horizontal. It's just like,
Thick
yeah. What's this way?
depth. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
circle.
just fatter. Here's a CD, but fatter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like slightly. Just
No,
slightly
like
too
this
big.
way, like this way. Like
Okay.
if you're like, just
Okay.
fatter.
Got it. I'll try my best to make that happen.
I know we haven't got to this part yet, but which we will, but like I fucking love Glitterer.
Dude. Okay. Yeah. So
it was the only thing I listened to for.
For people who don't know, Glitterer is another band that was started by Ned
Yes.
from Title Fight.
yeah. I'm a big fan of Glitterer.
They're playing Coachella this year.
So crazy. I'm so fucking stoked for him. I saw early Glitterer sets when he was still doing Glitterer as a true solo project.
Yeah, it was just him.
It's literally just him. Because
I've never seen him. I'd only seen videos. Like when I really liked it, I've only seen videos of him.
I've always been a fan. I always thought it was cool. I loved what he was doing from the jump. I think it kind of just started as him doing like the bedroom pop thing, you know, like fucking making little like drum machine beats and like fucking cool indie shit in his room or whatever, and then singing over it. And so then when he started performing as Glitterer, it was literally just him playing those recorded tracks and then singing it, which I thought was kind of dope.
It is so sick.
Didn't go over super well.
I loved it.
I remember
since it came out.
I remember seeing him play Sound and Fury 2019, I guess maybe it was. I think he only had his EP out at the time. Maybe he had just put out his first like full length as Glitterer, but yeah, I remember everybody crowding the room for his set. He started playing, and then it didn't go over super well.
How long was his set? Like 13 minutes, maybe less. It's one of my favorite.
I think he played for probably 20, 25.
Dude, it's like one of my favorite things. I'm like, he's like, this song is 45 seconds and there's one chorus. And I'm like, that's perfect.
They're so
that's
good.
Awesome.
The songs are so good. But I will say now that he is doing the full band thing with it, I do think it's really, really fucking cool. And I think that it probably is going over a lot better now. I've seen him a couple of times since. He just toured with the Hotelier on their 10-year tour of Home Like No Place Is There, which is another one of my fucking favorite bands ever. But
great album.
Amazing album. I have a tattoo for that album.
Fucking
We're doing it with the guy from Arm's Length.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Honestly, fuck, that's a great album. I should have done that one.
No, this one's good.
Okay.
No, this one is gas to do with you. I think this is a good one.
So valid.
I know I don't want to talk about Glitterer the entire time, but since starting like doing like music stuff, I was like, he was like, damn, he used like the same drums on the entire first thing. Like he was just like, like just like the same thing.
It's like straight up like drum machine shit.
But the same sound, like the same thing.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I think it might literally be, and I mean maybe I'm wrong about this, but I think it might actually be like an analog drum machine, and they don't like a lot of those like old school drum machines. Like you couldn't change the sound; it's just what it was. So he might have just literally only had that, and like that was the thing, which I think is fucking sick.
It's one of my favorite. It's to this day. Anytime I do not know what to put on, I'll put that on. Yeah. Like to this day.
It's so good. Dude.
It is a testament to just like songwriting, right? Because they're super simple.
Yeah.
Really simple.
Yeah. And it is like pretty impressive, honestly, like from a songwriting perspective, because I look at that, at everything that Glitter has done, and I'm like, I couldn't write like that. I couldn't sit down in a room by myself and like write something as cool as that and do it as well as he did it. And like, then also go and like fucking perform it and have it be sick. Like that in itself is so cool.
You kind of are doing it. You're doing that stuff. Like you're kind of doing most of it, like 85% of it.
What, how?
You're like writing songs and being in a band and then playing them live.
I'm in a band. I'm in a band.
You just came from a writing fucking session, bro.
Yeah, well, but that's just
you're not giving yourself enough credit here. You're just not playing a bass fairly out of tune. It's like that's all you're not doing, you know? And I feel like you can.
Well, I appreciate that. What I'm saying is I do think that he has a really, really fucking awesome style, and he's incredibly talented. And the fact that he can do something that simple and do it so well is really, it's impressive. It's fucking sick.
It's just cool to like both things and be like, oh, those are
totally. Yeah.
Like go back and forth.
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes people have too much.
Yeah.
And they need to not be as good as they are.
Yeah.
You know, like don't be as good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cut it out.
Absolutely.
Give some to somebody else.
Yeah, please.
So like we were saying, this is a very influential record. It inspired a lot of bands in the sphere. It kind of sparked the shoegaze sort of melodic sad wave into hardcore and into like the records that Will Yip did moving forward. One interesting thing that I did find was that Daniel Fang from Turnstile named it a perfect 10 record.
Yeah.
This album was also Head in the Ceiling Fan was sampled by Ethel Cain.
Oh, cool.
Gas on what?
We'd have to look it up. I
remember when that happened.
Ethel Cain title fight. Let's take a listen.
She did just do something really cool. She put
Head in the Wall is her song.
Yeah, she put out like it was all like atmospheric album.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I'm not listening to this, but that's cool. You did it.
That's cool.
Very sick.
I did
Can't
not
play
know
too
she did
much,
that. That's
or we're
cool.
gonna get demonetized.
Yeah, rip.
But yeah, what other bands do you think people would like if they like this album? I know we've listed a few. We talked about Peripheral Vision. We talked about Turnstile. We talked about Glitterer.
There's one band in particular that comes to mind because they're still very much an active band.
Is it Movements?
No, it's not Movements. If you love Title Fight and you love Floral Green, I think that you would love Modern Color. They are a band from here in LA, South Bay, but they're from LA, and they are super fucking talented. They've been around a long time, and their music is really reminiscent, I think, of that era, but a little bit heavier, maybe a little bit more aggressive in many cases, and kind of screamy, but also, just very, very fucking cool. And they're really, I think, still carrying the torch for like what that sound is.
They were a band that their art stuck out to me as well.
Yeah.
Like they were, there's so much out there. And when a band, you can visually be like, and it like will get you invested into what it sounds like without hearing them.
Totally.
They did that thing.
Yeah.
I have an old one that is a non-active band.
Okay.
And it's a Drive Like Jehu.
Drive Like Jehu.
Drive Like Jehu is like
Mark Trombino's
band.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like same, but different.
Okay.
And a lot of people like really like put that as like, they're like, that's the first emo. And I'm like, is it? It's more like experimental, yelly,
cool,
hardcore stuff.
I love that.
It's to this day one of my favorites, but it's not like for everybody.
Yeah.
But I think that if you've gone down the road of being like, I like hardcore, I like Title Fight, one and the same. I think this is like one of those things where you're like, damn, never listened to this.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
All right. Did you like Drive Like Jehu before the Bosnians showed you Jimmy Eat World in the car?
No.
So you went down the Mark Trombino rabbit hole after hearing Jimmy Eat World Clarity?
No, I went down the rabbit hole after they showed me Drive Like Jehu.
They showed you Drive Like Jehu before they showed you the Jimmy Eat World
all of that
record?
stuff, like 3 Mile
so
Pilot.
So you did like Drive Like Jehu before you listened to that Jimmy Eat World record?
Yeah.
And then when they were like, guess who it's produced by? You were like,
I don't even think they knew.
But they did know, you said, because they were working with somebody.
The
was working with
Bosnians were
them.
not working with them. They were just fans.
Somebody was working with them.
Bled was working with Mark Trombino.
Yeah, so that's how you knew. Okay, we're sorry, we're getting into like CD Burners lore.
Fascinating.
Every time that we go on, we talk about Mark Trombino once a podcast. We talk about Tucson. We talk about Morgan's lore with the Bosnians.
You just brought it up.
Who are the Bosnians?
There's Bosnians.
They're the Bosnians that got him into emo.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I don't even know how they knew about it.
It was like, it sounded like some like drug lore. Like,
no, dude.
Like,
that was around the time. It had nothing to do with the Bosnians. Nothing to do with the Bosnians, though.
You ever seen Barry on HBO?
Yeah.
You know, they always talk about like the Bosnians.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Bro, the Bosnians be pushing, bro.
Dude, that show was one in a million, I think.
Amazing show.
I think it was a 1 in a million show.
Amazing show.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to that man.
To wrap this shit up, why do you think Floral Green still matters 12 plus years later? And Patrick, if you could thank Title Fight for one thing this album gave you or taught you, what would it be?
I think it still matters because it's timeless. I think that this record, it hits you in a certain place, whether it be in your heart or your soul or whatever it is, right? Where I think young people, regardless of what generation you're a part of, hear this record and resonate. I think there's like a lot of sort of that early adulthood, late teenage angst and aggression and uncertainty about the world and overall sort of feeling of just being overwhelmed that comes with like being that age that is really showcased in this record. And it's so easy just to latch onto and be like, fuck, I get it. I hear it, you know, and it's like it speaks to you. You know what I mean? And I think that's such a huge part of why right now all these young kids on TikTok, all these Gen Z kids are discovering Title Fight and being like, fuck, this is amazing. Even though it came out when they were literally in diapers. You know what I mean? like this is the type of shit that's going to live forever. And I think that it's only going to continue to grow and only going to continue to get bigger. And I think they will always matter for that reason. And I think that's super, super important, super special. And I don't think that there's many bands, I don't think there's many records that can say the same. I think that's why they're one of my favorite bands of all time. Why they are my
it's
favorite
funny
bands of all time.
that you said timeless, because the whole episode, even since we started it, we were like, what year did it come out?
Yeah.
Because it is a timeless record.
Yeah.
Like you could tell me it came out like,
Yeah, it could have been last year. It could have been in the 90s. It could have it literally could have come out at any point, and it would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. Like truly.
The album, the I don't know if I even told you the artist that I was like, oh, this could be like the electronic version.
Yeah, Burial.
Did I?
Yeah.
The album is Untrue.
Untrue.
Yeah. Also include that if you like this, you like that. Not the same.
Okay.
But I think,
Same vibe.
Yeah.
yeah.
Something in the DNA.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
The
I
album
get
is
that.
Untrue. I think
get
that
Cool.
you guys will like that too.
Yeah, I'm going to listen. And if I could thank Title Fight for one thing, it would be thank you for helping shape my existence as a person and changing my life. Title Fight changed my life. I would not be who I am if it weren't for that band.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I think we leave it right there.
Clip
thank
it.
you so much, man.
Clip
Thanks
it.
for being here.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Dude,
I appreciate you.
Hell yeah, dude. It's
Hell
so
yeah.
good to see you. This
Dude,
was
great
this
to
was
see you
awesome.
guys.
This was a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah, we got to hang out again soon.
Absolutely. All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Everybody.
Enjoy talking shit.
We'll be back next week with the Click 5.
The click who?